Knees and toes.
The shoulders have to do with anything?
Because of what you did to my bold prediction. Yes, I'm taking this too far, but I don't care. We're
The
going.
noise is great for those who are audio only.
What's up, everyone, and welcome into the Buffalo Sports Collective. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. As always, I am PK alongside my co-host Phil. Episode 396. We're on a Tuesday because of me. My fault. My head betrayed me. Had a massive headache. Thought I could record, and then Phil was kind enough to go, no, that's okay. We'll record on Monday. So we'll get a rare Tuesday episode. I'm going through a bathroom demo, and one of our foster dogs is getting returned. Phil just got done catching some cats and snowblowing, so it's the most wonderful time of the year over in BSC land. But remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Don't forget to follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at buffalosportscollective.com. You'll need to know that in just a second. And look for the time breakdowns in the description of the show. Coming up this week, Phil's article is out today. As you're listening to this right now, you can either read and listen and read, or listen, then read, and read or listen. Whatever order you want to do in. Phil's article is out on the website, buffalosportscollective.com. Breaking down the game we're going to go over, but in more details of stuff that we can't cram into this show. Week 4 power rankings and pick'em will be out on Thursday. It was a bad week across the board for literally everyone in the NLL universe. It's parody 101. It's crazy out there in the streets. But why you're listening to us right now is because of the Buffalo Bandits getting, would you call that an upset, Phil? I think you would call it an upset.
Yeah.
Halifax over Buffalo.
Yes.
Buffalo loses 9-8 in overtime. Shots were 53-40 in favor of Buffalo. Faceoffs went to Halifax 13-8. Halifax 1 for 4 on the power play. Buffalo was a rare 3 for 5. I had the vantage point up in the box. You were in the stands. I think we both rewatched the game. I guess, what was your overall thoughts on the game before we get into the actual details of offense, defense, goaltender, and miscellaneous?
I mean, obviously, the biggest thing is that the season's over.
Yes.
The three.
If you read the comments,
it's
burn it down.
No more, and probably the worst team in the league. Outside of those comments, I thought, honestly, just a basic quick thought, I thought it was a really good game.
Yeah.
I don't love low-scoring games, but I thought it was just a very good, aggressive game. I think the refs handled it really well. I think they were pretty on top of it early, calling everything to get it under control, because both teams, that was the longest first quarter I can remember. It was very slow, very annoying, but I don't blame the refs for what they did, because after that, everything pretty much settled down for the second, third, and fourth quarter, and they kept their whistles in their pocket for most of the rest of the game. So if that's how they were going to do it against two pretty aggressive teams that can get very physical to put their foot down in the first quarter and then ease up as the teams ease up, I honestly loved that system. I hated the first quarter. It was so slow, and I thought that game was never going to end. But outside of that, honestly, just a really good game. It's upsetting they lost, but I thought it was just a good game against two of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, I fully agree with the first quarter sentiment. I will go over the penalties as we go, but I thought I'll touch on that later. But yeah, the first quarter was beyond long. It was really long up in the box, just going, really want another drink, but I can't walk away from here. Quarter won't end. Very aggressive game. I think both teams came in with a certain mindset. You saw Halifax dress diamond hands, playing one shift, and then Dane Smith embarrassed him so much he didn't get off the bench the rest of the time. As far as Halifax, I know they got the win, but if I'm the Halifax fans, I'm looking at it what the heck was the point of that? He's a known fighter in hockey. How much box experience does he have, and why are you dressing him? He gets embarrassed on one shift in front of Dane Smith, and then you don't play him again? What was the point of even dressing him? And I know they got the win, whatever. But you cost yourself a roster spot that you could have been using for another defenseman, like a depth defenseman. It made no sense to me. I don't know if it was just like planned to put some fear into Buffalo, like, oh, we could send out this fighter at any minute, and then he plays one shift and doesn't see the field again. But whatever, that's a different story. That's for Halifax to deal with. It's one game. Like we started off, Phil. That was a joke. That was being sarcastic. If people listen to this and don't understand it. The world's not over. Like, Bandits aren't going like winless the rest of the way. Like, it's fine. This happens. Losses happen. And I'm not going to put it on anything other than they played a game. They had a bye week. They played a game, had a bye week. Like, they even listened to the press conference, which was a cluster of its own. You had, I won't go into the details, but the disorganization of trying to get players and coaches to talk there, and everybody was in the same room, so everybody knew what the questions were going to happen anyways. But they pointed out multiple times that having to play and then sit and play and sit, it's a tough opening way. And I believe last year they had the same situation where they were off to start the season, then they played, then they were off, then they played. It's just the way of the NLL. It's not an excuse, but to me, that is a big reason on top of all the new faces on that offense. Like, to me, and I believe to you, and we're going to get into it, I think the offense is the reason that they lost this game. And I agree 100%. This was a fantastic game to watch. This was a fantastic game to be up in the box where you could be unbiased, just stone-faced, watching the game for what it was, a great NLL game. I loved that aspect of it, but when you're actually looking at the reasons why, Buffalo's offense went quiet. And I think a big reason why for that is there's so many fresh faces on there, between the penalties and not being able to play consistent 5-on-5, between the limited amount of practices they've had this early. Yes, Benesh has played on the team. Yes, Triolo was drafted back in 2015, but those are two new faces. Scanlon's still working in. You had Nielsen working in. Like, there's so many unknown faces. And even this is only year 2 of Ian McKay on the offense as well. Like, it's really Nanacook, Bucky, Smith, and Byrne have been there for years on years on years. And yes, McKay's been there for years, but this is year 2 on offense. I think the offense, to me, is what was disappointing. It's something that I'm going to have to keep an eye on. I'm not concerned, but it's something that I've gotten jotted down to keep an eye on moving forward. I mean, the penalties, they couldn't get in rhythm, but to me, I'm not panicking. If you're listening to this to hear us freak out, it's not going to happen. If you've been listening to us for 5 years, I don't really think we've ever really panicked. I think the biggest panic we ever had was after they lost to Vancouver a couple years ago. We're like, okay, they fall to 5-6. They're going to have to go on a hot streak. I think the number 1 seed's out of it, maybe even home games out of it, and then they bounce back and they beat Georgia in the first round. So
and they got a home
game. If you're listening to this for our overreaction, it's probably not happening, guys. They're going to have to lose 5, 6, 7 straight for us to freak out. But we'll start with the forwards. It was really, Nielsen got scratched and Mike Triolo went in. This is kind of what we were hoping to see, just to see, because we saw what Nielsen was. We saw him in a game or two last year. We saw him in game 1. We didn't know what Triolo would look like on this offense, but we wanted to see it. I'm kind of over that as well, to be honest. I'm good with Triolo, whatever. But it really was, to me, a 2-man show up there. I mean, if it wasn't for Josh and Dane, which you could say that all the time, it was a very quiet game. I mean, Smith had the first 2, then McKay, then Benny, but then it was Byrne, Smith, Byrne to finish the game. Like, they accounted for... Smith was involved in 7 of 8. Byrne was involved in 6 of 8. The rest of this group, I have it broken down. The righties went 3, 5, and 8 on 19 shots. The lefties went 5, 6, and 11 on 29 shots. If you do not include Dane Smith on the righties, they had 1 assist for 1 point on 6 shots. With the non-Josh Byrne lefties, 2, 3, and 5 on 12 shots. Like, it's the depth pieces were not good enough in this game to me, and that was a big reason why they lost. Again, I'm not criticizing them because they've only had 2 games and a few practices and a lot of new faces. But to me, when you're looking at this game, the reason that they lost this one was because they couldn't get enough depth scoring by Warren Hillen. Warren Hillen had a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. But I think the offense in the droughts that they had was a big reason that they lost this one.
Yeah, this is the kind of game where this is the first time, I mean, it's only 2 games in, but
yeah,
this is the first time to me where you really saw that you're missing Chase and Cloutier.
100%.
Like, I think if they're in that game, you probably win, because I think they both have the ability to get inside. They both have the ability to just shoot and find ways to score. And I think they would have had, again, you only needed 2 goals to win this game, and essentially one before overtime. But you didn't need much support outside of Smith and Byrne, and they couldn't get that support that they needed. The biggest issue I have so far, I mean, the right side scares the heck out of me right now. I think McKay can figure it out. I think Benny can figure it out as the season goes on. I mean, he's another one who's older in general. He's a older veteran. I think just it's going to take him some games to get going again. I mean, I'm not worried about him. I think it's going to take some time for him to get used to this team and in general get up to game speed. Like if he's still struggling 7, 8, 9 games in when they're in the meat of the season, and to me right now he's not really that struggling. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. He's fine. But if he's not putting up, I don't know, bigger numbers, then I'll be worried if it's that late in the season. Right now I'm not worried about what he's doing. He's doing fine. But the righties are very scary. Bucky had a career year last year, and expecting him to repeat that was always going to be a big question mark this year. A year older and no Fraser on that side to kind of cover Bucky a little bit. So he's been a little bit of a disappointment. And then to me, this is something we talked about at the beginning of the season, something we wanted to see. Nanticoke to me has been a huge disappointment. And I know it's only 2 games, so I'm giving him time. It's way too early to panic on him. But if they're not changing his role, something needs to change on that right side. You cannot have Dane and nobody behind him. Like, if Nanticoke's still going to be just a bulldozer to create lanes, I don't think your right side's good enough to win big games. Like, it's not to me. Like, he needs to have more than 6 shots in 2 games. And 2 of those, like, yeah, he scored 2 goals in the first game. The one was a transition goal. It was a great goal, but it was in transition. It wasn't on offense. And the other one was a fluke one between, the goalies just standing there. It's not really a great goal. I mean, they needed it, but it was not your typical goal. And so if you take those 2 shots away, because that's 2 shots of the 3 he took that game, you're looking at 4 shots in 2 games. That's not good enough for what I would imagine right now is you're expecting to be your number 2 righty. Like, he's just, and again, maybe they just haven't switched his role, but if he's keeping that role of being that bulldozer lane setting kind of guy, then somebody on the right side is going to have to step up. And I don't know right now who it is other than Nielsen. I think Nielsen's got the most talent on that right side to all of a sudden emerge as a true goal scoring threat. But even that, I feel like you're asking a lot. He was healthy scratched. I mean, it's not really against him, but in his first game this year, he didn't look great. He looked a little bit lost. It looked like he needs some time to figure it out. And I kind of agree with what you said with Triolo. I thought he looked good early on. He did exactly what we'll get in the defense in a little bit. But what Halifax was really good at was just moving everybody out of the way, and it was embarrassing at times. But Triolo did that early in the game in one of his plays. He just took his pick and just moved him all the way out. And I think it was Dane who was able to get a wide open shot because Triolo just moved the other guy out of the way. And if that's what he's going to do, that's fine. I like him in that role, but he doesn't seem like he's going to be the one to lead the right side. Like, you just don't have a number 2 righty right now. And I think that's a huge issue. I think on the left side, McKay's fine. Benny's fine. Scanlon can pump a few in here and there. So I think the left side to me is okay. That right side is terrifying.
Yeah, I thought the offense did a fantastic job of limiting the transition game. Like, I think both sides did a fantastic job of limiting the transition game between both teams. I don't remember there being very many transition opportunities either side. So that was one thing that we hammered home on our preview show.
There were a few from Buffalo, but a lot of them were being called. Like, Weiss, I think, had a few, and Priolo had like 1 or 2 shots.
Dylan Robinson had 1-2 that he put over the net. Yeah, there was a couple chances, but really, I mean, they limited them fantastically. And that was one thing that we hammered home of this offense has to either get back or get off. And I thought they did a fantastic job. And that's a big reason why we saw a 9-8 final score. I thought the secondary and third chances that this offense had was a ton. Yeah, it was amazing. They were getting a ton of opportunities. They were getting a bit unlucky, some posts, some just near misses. Like, it looked like an offense that hasn't been together very long. That's really what it looked like, and that's what it is. So if that's the way they're looking, I'm fine 2 games through. Like, I'm not freaking out over a loss, a 1-goal loss in overtime.
Against
not freaking
a good
out
team.
About it
Against a good team.
But there was against a good team that was in the semifinals last year. Like they lost to the Saskatchewan Rush in the semis. That's why they didn't make it to the finals. But the bad outweighs the good in this situation. And for an offense like this, it's not going to happen very often. So sorry. Like again, panic button, tossing it over my shoulder, not worried about it at all. It's not even going to land on the panic button meter. But to me, and I know they went 3 for 5 on the power play. I get that. I thought Benny's move to kind of sneak in and then quick stick it right in the middle.
His quick stick ability is amazing.
Yeah, that's what you need from this offense. They slowly picked it up in the second half, but this power play, and we said it all last year, they just moved too slow. And they were struggling on the power play last year. I think they went 1 for 5 in game 1. Yes, they went 3 for 5 in this one. I get it. So it's a weird take to have. But it's just they pass it and then they have it in their stick for too long. And then they pass it and they have it in their stick. That balls need to move around. With the elite passing and elite goal scoring and the elite offense that this team has, they should not be bad at the power play. Like that should be 55% every single time. It just hasn't been that way in a few years. If they can just speed up this passing, they'll be elite there. But again, that's one knock. McKay, he looked a bit off. Like the one goal he had, I even forgot he even scored because they ended up having to replay it, I believe. But yes. He seemed a bit off, missing passes. You know, the ball was just slipping through his stick at times. He just didn't seem like he was fully there in that one.
The first 2 games now, it looks like he's like he just doesn't look comfortable. He looks like
something's a bit off.
It looks like there's a lot of pressure on him to be Cloutier and be that second lefty, and he's just, I feel like last year no one knew what he was, and all of a sudden he's this offensive phenom, and no one really covered him because no one really knew. He was like, oh, don't worry about the transition defender who's barely playing offense, and so he was able to like sneak through last year and have an incredible year. Now he's trying to repeat that year, and I feel like he doesn't seem like he's loose. He seems like he's just gripping the stick a little tight. All of his shots seem just a little bit off. Like you said, he just doesn't seem comfortable right now. And I feel like it might just be the pressure of, okay, can you repeat what you did last year in that incredible season and now be the number 2 guy on this offense?
Yeah, the other issue I had, and I said it in game 1, and it kind of flowed into game 2. I do not like the 8-forward set. John Tavares kind of mentioned it. Dane Smith and Josh Byrne mentioned it in the press conference after. Having, on top of all the penalties that went down, and on top of having the new faces, and on top of having, limited practice time, having 8 guys on the forward end when you're used to 7, they can't get in rhythm. Like it's
too many bodies.
Too many bodies on the top end. Like something has to change up there. It just has to. Whether you want to go heavy left or heavy right, there needs to just be 7 guys up there, like moving forward. And this was a criticism I had in game 1 when they scored 15. And I thought to myself, I really shouldn't be criticizing a team that's just put up 15, but it just didn't look right. And then it flowed into game 2 when they only had 8 goals. So maybe I was just a bit of ahead of the curve, but the goal droughts as well. Like that was not good. Between goals 5 and 6, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Between goals 6 and 7, 17:05, and between goals 7 and 8, 16:10. Like they scored 3 goals in the final 46 minutes. That's what I mean about, to me, the reason that they didn't walk away with a victory in that one against a very good Halifax team. Like I said multiple times, the other team has good players as well. The offense kind of went quiet, and you saw this offense that has had the same players for years and years and years go into a real test against a very good team that they just haven't gelled yet. Like, I still fully expect John Tavares to get this figured out. I fully expect the entire offense to get it all figured out. But game 2 of the season, when they only put up 8 goals, there's criticism to go around. The goal droughts and the inconsistent depth scoring really cost them in this one.
Yeah, and like you said, there were a couple that were called back really close. Like Triolo, right. I really thought he was out of the crease. I'm surprised they didn't challenge it. But you never know if you need that challenge later. I know it was already, I think it was in the 4th quarter already, but you just never know if you need something later. So it was too close for them to make that in 30 seconds. And then Nanakoke scored that goal, but it was too late in the shot clock. So they had a few big opportunities that if one or two things go a little bit different. Right, I mean, how many times did Hill have to, I don't even know how he bends that way, but completely lay on his back as the ball was like trickling over the line to make sure it didn't get past him. I used to be able to do that. And now if you did it, PK would be out for 2 months.
Yeah, now I can't get back up.
But Hill did play really, really well. I think the team, like you said, the secondary opportunities were huge by this team, and third opportunities. Their ability to just kind of go after a loose ball and muck it up and find it, I thought was really good. So, I mean, I think I even put in my article, like, if you play this game exactly how it went again, all the same shots, everything, I think Buffalo just comes out on top. I think.
Yeah, if you play this in February, if you play this style when they made each other in February, I think Buffalo wins.
Yeah, and to me,
because they'll have more time together. Yeah,
right. And to me, I thought honestly Buffalo was the better team. I thought Hill just was able to keep Halifax in it long enough for them to very slowly crawl back into it and eventually get the win. But to me, out of these two teams with where they are right now, I thought Buffalo looked like the better team. And especially being 2 games in, like, moving forward, Buffalo is still the team I would want to choose over these two teams if I had to. Just, like, who do you want the rest of the season? I'd still take Buffalo, even though they lost.
So we'll move on to defense and transition. Scott Loeffler put it out there for everybody questioning why Kyle Matisse was wearing 99. I don't know this for a fact. He had a jersey issue with his jersey. Phil, tell me if I'm crazy. Was he wearing Rax's jersey? Like, did they just take off Rax and put Matisse on? Because Rax was in a winter robe, Christmas robe. That means 99 wasn't being used. Like, is that a stretch for me to...
My only thought is, like, is 99 their default? Nobody wears it because Rax wears it. If something happens to someone's jersey, 99 just the number they automatically have just sitting back there.
Maybe.
As an option. But it might, like you said, but maybe that's an option because it's already made up for Rax. And Rax, like, if this is an emergency...
He wasn't using it.
Rax, take it off. You gotta give it
Here's
to
Matisse. A robe. I don't know it for a fact. All I know is Scott Loeffler said he had an issue with his jersey. That's why he was wearing 99. And when I was driving home, I told Brooke, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was Rax's jersey. Like, he wasn't using it. It was available. But I thought overall, both defenses did a fantastic job. I thought both goaltenders, and we can even tie Matt Vince into this as well. I thought they did a very good job. You had Taylor Dooley go back to the practice squad to open a spot for Kyle Matisse. That opens a whole other issue leading up to the Calgary game after Christmas. But, I mean, when I'm looking at the stats, though, like, it wasn't a big defensive showing. Like, the numbers weren't there. Buffalo had 6 caused turnovers, 5 block shots. Halifax, 7 caused turnovers, 9 block shots. I would have thought both of those would be in double digits when it's an 8-9 game. Like, overall, I mean, I think although it didn't cost them, I think having Zach Belter on that left side is going to help them moving forward. Because to me, I thought Whitty did a very good job of baiting Randy Stotts into punching him in the face twice. Like, I think without knowing too much about Thomas Whitty slash Josh Allen, he seems like a pest on the field that nobody wants to play against. Like, it seems like he's involved in a lot of things, especially that night, that people just don't like him on the field. And every team needs a pest like that. And if he's going to be it, I think he adds a ton of value to this. But I thought overall, besides a couple bad slip-ups on defense, and you can even talk to the last one where I think Mitch Desnew thought he had help on the back end from Dylan Robinson, and it didn't come, and that's why the goal ended up going in. I thought there were a few slip-ups for game 2, though, with Kyle Matisse playing in his first game, with Mitch Desnew playing in his second game. I thought the defense looked very good on the back end. If you're going to get that type of performance and holding Halifax to 9 goals, like if you told me on Friday, Buffalo holds Halifax to 9 goals, I would say Buffalo wins 12-9. Like, I would have really thought that. I thought overall the defense did a very good job. I have a couple negatives, but I'll let you talk because I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, it's really funny to me. I thought they also did a really good job. They held a very, very potent offense. What were they, number 2 last year in the league in scoring?
Yeah, number 2, just behind Buffalo.
And they only put up 40 shots on net. Like, they did a really good job overall. They were able to control Stotts to 0 goals. I know he had 3 assists, but still, you were able to keep him off the scoreboard. That's huge. And most of the damage was done by 2 players, Peterson and Theed. And I know Theed was your big call out, so nice job. But for the most part, I thought the defense did a really good job. Like you said, it was Moose's first game, so I think it's going to take him some time to not only, again, get up to game speed, especially coming after an injury, but also get used to the people playing around him. I think Belter will be a huge addition to that left side. There were a lot of issues, I think, between Desnew and his partner, whoever it happened to be at that time on that left side, that he... And again, this might just be a thing of knowing your teammates and not knowing them long enough. Like this is not really a shot against him, but he looked not lost, but like Halifax did such a good job just pushing the picks out of the way, and then Desnu kind of lost his guy, expecting help behind him, and either the switch wasn't there, the switch was bad, or the person was just gone, and all of a sudden you got a guy running past you, and you're like, well, I thought you were going to be there, but Halifax did a really good job lane-setting picks and just moving players completely out of the play. But as far as kind of being weird, like, I thought the defense looked really good, and at the same time, I have most of the goals that were allowed against the defense. I think they played well, but I think they were also to blame on a lot of the goals that went in. It was only 9, so again, not bad, but I didn't have really any against Vince, and I had most of them on the defense. And that's not really saying they played poorly by any means, because I think they did play really well against a very good offense, but the goals that did go in, I had most of them on the defense. So it's weird to say they had a good game and then most of the goals are against them, but I do think overall that they did play well. And I think, again, it's going to take some time for them to gel and get everybody healthy, get everybody in the lineup. I do think Whitty looked really good. I liked him out there quite a bit. I hope he is able to stick out there. It's not really, I don't know, I haven't mind Ron John, but I feel like Whitty just adds something different to that back end, and I feel like he's noticeable more for a good reason, whereas Ron John's kind of invisible, and which is kind of good when you're on defense as well. But I feel like Woody's just more noticeable out there in a good way. I feel like he's always in the play, mixing it up. He's very physical, and like you said, if he can be that pest as well, we'll take that all day.
Yeah, I agree on the goals. I didn't have any against Matt Vince. And again, when you only let in 9 goals, like, how can you really criticize the defense? But I'm going to. I'll go over the last bits here, and then I'll go over the 9 goals that they scored. On the power play that Halifax had, I know Paul Dawson's trying to burn some time, but that 8 seconds can't happen. I don't know what the heck he was doing with the ball behind the net. He runs behind the net, I get clear it out. But 8 seconds in this league shouldn't happen as often as it does. Like, it just can't happen, especially in the third quarter. Matisse did look slow. So moving forward, I'm begging John Tavares, Steve Dietrich, whoever it is, you cannot have Paul Dawson and Kyle Matisse on the floor at the same time. Like, it can't happen. Like, they're reliable defenders in a certain situation, but they're veteran pieces. And when you're only playing 8 defensemen back there, yeah, it's going to happen time to time where they're both on the same shift. But that's another reason why you shouldn't have 8 forwards up in this game. But they can't take the same shift, because if they get caught up, they're not quick enough to get back in the action. I saw it too many times where they're on the same floor, the same side, let alone. It can't happen. Those two cannot be on the same. Like, maybe when Spanger comes back and Belter comes back, yeah, there'll be more bodies back there, and maybe that's another reason that they're hoping and waiting for Zach Belter to come back. Then they can go 7 and 9, which would be ideal for them. But I'm just begging. Dawson and Matisse can't be out on the floor at the same time. It's too slow back there in a fast league. But yeah, 8 men back there also hurt them in this one, because it's less time. Like, the penalty kills, the same 4 guys, like, it's too much. But we'll go over the goalie really quick. I mean, the first one, Dawson Thied on the power play, it was off a rebound. Somehow, I don't know how Dawson Thied got it. I thought it was in Cam Wyer's stick.
He thought it was in his stick as well.
It was unbelievable. And then he just beats Matt Vince. It's a power play goal. What are you going to do? Knocks in transition. Dylan Robinson kind of loses where he's at. And, it's kind of like a quick tap in.
Robinson
There's not much you can do off that
on
one.
that one too, because the pass went right past him. He was looking at the pass as if he should have caught it, and then he just completely missed it. And the second it went in, he was like, "Whoops, that's on me."
Dawson Thied gets the step on Nick Weiss, and it's in. It's 5-3 Buffalo at that point. The one you were talking about where they were just clearing the lanes. The number 4 on Peterson. Stu got picked to another state, and then it was Stotts that was able to seal off Dawson after that. Like, Stotts went from picking Mitch Desnu to going and sealing off Paul Dawson. It was unbelievable, that play that Stotts had. As little as he was on the stat sheet, he was doing more off the stat sheet that got them involved. Matisse just leaves him alone for whatever reason. I have no idea where Matisse was going.
The same thing.
Like, where are you going? Like, are you missing a dinner date somewhere?
Someone that wasn't there, that Priola was covering. You just
and didn't have the ball. Like, the guy who has the ball is in front of you, and you left him alone. Like, that one made no sense.
Say game 1 jitters.
The 6-1 Peterson, Dawson gets picked, and the Snoo is there, but he gets used as a screen, and it's in. There was another good play by Peterson. The Knox one on 7, he uses Weiss as a screen.
That was a wicked shot.
I think looking back, Vince might have wanted it back, but the more I watched it, I was like, I don't even know how you see that thing.
Or like the shot, it was so fast, upper corner.
Yeah.
That was like just the second I saw that shot, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was a fantastic shot. Like, if I'm putting myself in Matt Vince's eyes and shoes, I think he's going to say I should have that one. But when you look back at that one camera angle, it's like, there was no real shot. Jameson off a faceoff win, Priolo goes to the switch, and there's really no one there. He's used as a screen, and that one's in. And then Peterson, the game-winning one, off a faceoff win, 34 seconds in, I think it was, 24 or something like that. DeSnoo thinks he's got the back help on Dylan Robinson. He doesn't. It's over. Like, it was that quick. That's what overtime is. But overall, Matt Vince looks solid again. I'm still waiting for the clock to turn to February where we get primetime Matt Vince again. This just seems like what we've seen the last few years, and we kind of pinpointed that either last year or the year before. He's not playing summer ball anymore. Like, this is his preseason. Like, these first few games are his preseason. It takes him a bit to get into it. He's got less than a 76 save percentage because somebody asked me that the other day, and I did the math really quick. I am not worried about Matt Vince whatsoever. He has not lost a step. Like, he is still the same Matt Vince. This is the Matt Vince that we're going to see when he plays for the next 10 years. What we're going to see from him in December and January. It's going to take him a bit to get back into primetime Matt Vince form. And then when February and March comes around, he's going to be making those unbelievable saves. You just kind of got to weather the storm until we get to that the prime time of the schedule. I'm not worried about Matt Vince at all. I'm not worried about the defense. They're going to figure it out. Just don't play Dawson Matisse at the same shift. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I saw with Halifax was doing extremely well and Stotts was doing well was just moving those picks out of the way. Like, they weren't really doing too many switch off. They weren't doing pick and rolls. They were just doing pick. And then the one person just runs around and is able to score. And they did a really, really good job of it. And Buffalo just didn't make the adjustment to it. And I think next time they play them, you'll either see a Buffalo adjustment to that, or you'll see Halifax adjust to it and start doing pick and rolls with Buffalo, assuming that they're not going to do a pick and roll, and it'll be a lot of mind games and a lot of fun. But I thought the defense, again, they had a lot of goals against them, but I thought they played fine. Only 40 shots by Halifax, 4 power plays against, and only 1 goal. Like, to me, overall, with everything they got going on with Whitty's first game, Matisse's first game, like different people in and out of the lineup already, they looked fine. Vince, to me, looked great. I thought he was fine. I thought he kept him in it the whole time. Like, yeah, you can say Hill did the same thing, but Vince only let in 8 regulation goals. 9 times out of 10, the Bandits would win that kind of game. So nothing wrong with Vince. And we also might see Vince throughout the season, as we saw last year, in a little bit of like cruise control.
Yes.
Playing well, but he doesn't need to play extremely well. I mean, he might need to if the offense can't get it figured out, but I think they will. I think we'll just see him playing, 90% or 80% of Matt Vince playoff version, and then playoffs come, and it's a whole new guy.
Yeah, if you could tell, we're not worried. Like, it was a loss. It was a 1-goal loss in overtime. We're fine. But we'll close out the show in just a second, but we'll go over our first and only sponsor of the show. Tap That Tap Room, 363 Delaware Street in Tonawanda, New York. On my way home, I drove by it. It was still popping. Buffalo's first woman-owned self-pour bar featuring 30 consistently rotating taps. They offer a variety of beers, ciders, sours, seltzers, and malt beverages.
PK, for our in-season coverage, we have gained some new listeners who may not know what Tap That Tap Room was all about. Well, they have events for days, starting with general trivia on Wednesday. Thank you Thursday with 10% off all for first responders on, surprisingly, Thursday. Happy hour Friday from 5 to 7 with the entire beer wall discounted. You can stay for DJ Nightlight from 7 to midnight. And then on Saturday with the Bandits on bye, they are rocking 90s and 2000s music all night long. That is some good jams from the 90s and 2000s. To find out what other events they have coming up, you can check out their Facebook page and find out what's on tap and what's on deck. Check out tapthattaproom.com.
Maybe it's a hot take, but I think the 90s and early 2000s had the best music. But
I think so.
Maybe.
It'd be a good night to show up. And
maybe I'll get killed for that.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous stuff. Tavares, 1-for-1 on challenges so far. Congrats. Much better than Sean McDermott. And then Farrell. I thought he did decently well versus Withers. Withers is one of the top faceoff guys. Even Nick Weiss said it in the press conference that they need to do a better job of mucking it up and getting those loose balls. And when you're kind of in the mindset of you're going against Jake Withers, you're probably going to lose this one. You need to go into with a better mindset of, no, we got Connor Farrell now. Now we got an actual shot at winning these. Overall, I know some people out there that are probably a part of the Faceoffs Matter crew. We're not saying Faceoffs don't matter. They just matter in certain situations. They didn't really matter much in this one besides winning it in overtime, and he didn't. Not going to hold it against him. But where I was going with this is some people love that 30-second face-off scenario. Buffalo was down by 1. You're just killing the clock by doing that. Like, if you can't win it within the first 5 or 10 seconds when you're losing, just let him have it. Like, you're just burning time, because even if it goes 30 seconds and you don't win it, which he didn't, that's another 30. So that's a minute off the clock that you don't have. Like, to me, I hate those ones. Like, I know the crowd gets crazy. I know people absolutely love it. It's a feat of strength kind of thing. I hate it. I don't like it. It makes no sense to me when the risk of you not doing it is another 30 seconds missed, and they might score. Like, just get it over with quicker. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just before moving on from Farrell, if that's where you're headed. But I thought,
I was going to the penalties next.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch again because I didn't keep a good track of this. I don't know how many Withers won straight and fair. I thought Farrell did a really good job mucking it up. I don't think Withers won many cleanly. Where
he won the first one in OT and then one other one, I think.
Yeah,
but I think Farrell won that first one in the second half when they were on the penalty kill clean as well. So it went both ways.
Yeah, and usually when Withers did actually get it, Farrell was able to dislodge it right away and just attack his stick and get a loose ball, and then it's up to, like Weiss was saying, it's up to the rest of the team to go win that faceoff. But
yeah,
that's what you want from your faceoff guy. If he's going up against an elite guy and he can't win it, then you just need to be able to force him not to just win it cleanly and have that transition opportunity, which Withers didn't really get that many opportunities in that situation. So for me, I thought Farrell did a really good job against one of the best out there, and he even won a decent amount of them for the team. So he wasn't 50%, but I would say he was, like you said, 90% of Withers not winning it cleanly, and that's the best you can ask for in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not going to go over the penalties because I know you have that in your article. The first one, the Smith one, I didn't think that was a good call. I mean, maybe from the angle the ref was at, he kind of saw on the back.
That's what I had too. From his angle, it looked like from the back, but to me, that should have been a change of possession. Yeah, it just give him a loose ball push. And there was definitely not a check from behind by any.
Yeah, the Withers-Priola one, both roughing. I get it, trying to calm the storm. The Bell 5-minute body check that was reduced to 2. So right call, 2 minutes. Nanakoke roughing, kind of saw it. Again, they're kind of trying to limit everything in the first quarter. Stotts, Whitty baited him. I don't know why it was 4, maybe for both punches. But Withers, illegal body check, 5 minutes, dropped down to 2 for boarding. I get that one. I mean, you're trying to get those hits out of the game. 2 minutes. It should have been 5. It was the right call to reduce it. Illegal subs can't happen again. Like, who's ever man in that door, be better. McKay roughing. Good call on Withers. I mean, Withers baited him back. Armstrong hold on Dane. Dane sold that one. He deserves an Oscar. That was not a penalty. Illegal subs on Halifax.
He's learned it from Josh Allen how to
illegal subs on Halifax. Yeah, another call. And then Priola 30 seconds after the faceoff. Another stupid one. Like, I know he got, or I think it was Connor Farrell got slashed in the pile. Slashed. It was just a retaliatorial one. Your second man's always going to get caught. But that was really the penalties. I didn't have any gripes with any of them. I mean, the first one on Dane, big deal. Bad calls are going to happen every once in a while. But other than that, you can read Phil's article for the breakdowns and what his opinions are on it as well. BuffaloSportsCollective.com. Check it out. It's out now. Milestones. Some got checked off. I'm very happy about it. Kyle Buchanan, 200th game, and I missed the Kyle Matisse one because I didn't expect him back, and he was down on the spreadsheet, but he was also in his 200th game. When they announced it, I was like, no, there's no way, and then I checked my notes. I was like, oh, shoot, I missed that one. My bad, Kyle Matisse, 200, congrats. Ian McKay got to 100 goals for his career. Thomas Whitty at 300 career loose balls because he got 2. Steve Perillo got 4, so he is now in sole of 8th place.
Possession of 8th place?
There it is. He passed Patrick Merrill for penalty minutes, 8th place in NLL history. And Connor Farrell had 21 faceoffs, so he passed Brandon Francis for 4th place in Buffalo Bandits history. Thank you guys for doing these because I don't have to read them next time. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
And to hope if you could score 2 goals, let's work on that.
Also would be ideal as well. And Ian McKay score 2 more now. And all outlook. We'll rapid fire these ones because there's 6 other games. Phil, me, and People's Picks all went 3-4 this week. It was a nightmare trying to pick these. Friday, Saskatchewan falls to Ottawa 11-8. Ottawa outshot them 65-46. Ottawa was even 1 for 5 on the power play. They stormed back. It was unbelievable. Ottawa started 3-0. Saskatchewan goes up 8-5 after 3. Ottawa scores the final 6 of the game. And then some extra fun, the final 1:22 of the games with 50 combined penalty minutes. Phil, Ottawa gets a must-win game to avoid falling to 0-2, first win on their home turf this year, and knocks Saskatchewan down a peg. Big win by Ottawa.
Yeah, this was we'll keep getting into it, but a week of upsets for sure.
Big time.
I assume as, Bandits fans have given up on this season, the Rush fans have also given up on this season with a embarrassing loss to Ottawa. And then the face-off crew, Saskatchewan with the 17-6 advantage in face-offs, and they lost by quite a bit. So
how'd that work out for you? Yeah. Move on. Afternoon lacrosse. Colorado 1-0 going against Philly, who everybody picked to lose. 93% of you picked them to lose. And they won 8-7. Colorado outshot them 59-42. It was Colorado going 1 for 6 on the power play. Andrew Q missing in this one was a monster issue. 7-3 Philly at half. Colorado 4-1 in the second half, but it was not enough. Damoud, holy crap, Phil. This is the Nick Damoud that we thought we would be getting for years and years. It is, I'm telling you right now, it is not sustainable what Philly does on defense. It's a system problem, it's a talent problem, or it's some other problem. But you cannot be allowing Nick Damoud to face 59 shots. I remember writing my articles last year, and it was like every game he's facing 55 or more shots. It's not sustainable. He played beyond his years. It was unbelievable the game he had, 52 of 59 saves. This isn't sustainable. He cannot keep doing this. He's going to get worn down, and then you're going to have the same Philly team last year. But a monster win by Philly on their own home turf, making Colorado fall to them. It was a very interesting game where, to me, Colorado got goalied. That was the biggest thing. And bold prediction stats here. My bold prediction of Philly averaging under 10 goals. 1 game through, we're looking good so far, boys. Thank you.
And they did it with a win.
That's fine. They can win as many games as they want. That's fine. I'll get that prediction wrong. I want my bold prediction of under 10 to be correct.
Yeah, one of the big things so far this season, which we've said for years now, is that goalies can single-handedly pretty much win games. And we've seen that plenty of times already this season where...
Just saw it in Buffalo.
Right. Your new catchphrase, get goalied or got goalied. I feel like it's happening all over the league right now where goalies are just stepping up with monster performances to save their team and have them win. I mean, Hill this weekend with the Bandits, and then Damoud for Philly. There's realistically no reason Philly should have won that game, not to be rude, but Damoud was the reason, and that's all it takes. That's why we talk so much about goaltending being elite to win the finals, because you can have an incredible team, but if a goalie is on his game, you might not have a chance. And it might not matter how good your offense is or how good your defense is. If a goalie is playing out of his mind, he can steal any game at any time, and Damoud was able to do that for Philly.
So, Saturday, 7 p.m., same time as Buffalo. Toronto wins 11-10 over Calgary. Toronto was actually 0 for 4 on the power play, and for you Face-Offs Matter crowd, Calgary won 20-5. How'd that work out for you? Calgary 3-1 after 1, 6-4 at half, 8-6 after 3, and then 4 straight by Toronto to start the fourth. Was enough. Chris Boucher with the winner. 2:06 left. The righties got it done in this one. Dowick went 3-3-6. Boucher 3 goals. English played some shifts up top, 1-1-2, and the rookies and Kirst and Hiltz combined for 3, 7, and 10. Point nights. Rose played unbelievable. And Walsh, who we talked about last week, he played unbelievable. 42 of 53 saves. He kept them in it. Calgary's going to be a tough out the rest of the season. They're not going to win a ton of games, like I said multiple times last week, but they look good in this one.
Yeah, I don't know what's more interesting in game two for this one, either the veterans on offense for Toronto actually picking it up. I mean, it's only a second game, but having Dalwick and Bushi get 6 goals combined after they did very poorly in the first game was huge for that offense. But at the same time, Calgary's offense has been very impressive so far to start this year. I mean, Toronto has an incredible defense, an incredible goalie, and for them to put up 10 goals and be winning after 3 quarters is really impressive. I mean, Toronto's a team that a lot of people have picked to be super high in the final standings, and Calgary was right there with them all the way to the end. So Calgary, like you said, they might not win a lot of games, but they're going to be a very difficult out, and I think they're already surprising a lot of people with what they've been able to do. And I mean, for their franchise, even if they don't make playoffs or whatever happens with them this year, this is a very, very good turnaround for them moving forward.
Oshawa's broken, Phil. They're broken. Georgia wins 9-5. They've scored 7 goals the last 2 games, and they've scored 15 goals through 3. Oshawa outshot them 55-47, but they were 0 for 5 on the power play. It was tied 2-2 at half. Georgia 5-3 after 3. I don't know. Lyle won 3 and 4, so he got a little bit better in this one. But Oshawa, man, like it went from last year wondering, okay, it was just injuries, right? Like they didn't get figured out. Now through 3 games, it's like this offense is broken. The league figured them out, and something has to change. Like 3 games in, 15 goals, unacceptable. Like I'm putting it here now. I'm not picking them to win again for the foreseeable future, because if you're putting in 2 goals, I know that Warren Hill got goalied, like they goalied him, but 5 goals in this one, it's 7 goals through 2 games. It's ridiculous. 15, they're averaging 5 goals a game, Bill. It's unacceptable. Oshawa, to me, losers until they prove otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I said in this week's picks. I picked Georgia to win this one. I didn't really like what Georgia brought, but until Oshawa can fix their offense, I do not trust them. And here it is. Again, I don't get it. They have the talent, everything's there, and what's kind of frustrating about Oshawa is that their defense and goaltending, goalie was fine last year, but defense, because of the injuries, was struggling a bit last year. That looks great, and for the most part through the start of the season, the defense and goaltending has been there. Like it's been pretty solid. Exactly. But the offense that's supposed to be, I mean, it doesn't have to be elite, but it's supposed to be pretty good and one of the better ones in the league with the talent they have, has really fallen apart. And I mean, a 9-5 win is classic Georgia victory, first off, but just gross. But yeah, I don't know what Oshawa is doing. Even their power play, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that offense. It doesn't make any sense. They have the pieces, but like you said, and like I said before this week, until we see some kind of spark of life from that offense, I am not picking them to do much.
The winners of the offseason have officially been crowned, with Vancouver winning 15-9. Vegas outshot them. They had 21-7 in faceoffs. Another faceoffs matter crowd dying slowly. Yeah, it was, to me, this is why you do not overreact after a preseason or game 1. We said Vancouver would be perfectly fine. This was probably a get-right game for them. Chase Frazier gets hurt in warm-ups, and that's why he didn't play. But you put up 15, and you chase Landon Kells, who had to go to Alex Bouquet, who played very well. It will be interesting to see who gets game 2 between the pipes. We were mentioning Caleb Kahn. How early do they get to him? He goes down to the practice squad like before the game. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Call up Alex Bouquet. So the heat isn't there. So the crowd's not calling for Caleb Kahn all game. Very smart by Sean Williams to do, but it didn't end up mattering at all. Vancouver gets the win and kind of shows, okay, we are the top dogs across the league, at least in our books.
Yeah, it was a huge offensive game for them, especially after in the first game, their offense just wasn't really there. There's some question marks of, again, after one game, no question marks that we took seriously, but question marks of could they put it all together, and in this game they absolutely did. And, I mean, other than ball, they spread it around quite a bit. Like, yeah, a lot of people had points, but there were a lot of goals kind of spread throughout, which is kind of what you want to see from a balanced offense. So they played really well. Vegas is, I think, who we thought they were, which is a potentially decent offense, especially once Fraser gets in there, but a weaker and struggling goaltending on the back end. We'll see what they can kind of put together, but this kind of game is what I expect a lot of from Vegas this year.
Yeah, I was kind of maybe nicked a mood over there, but Philly's 1-0 and Vegas is 0-1. That ain't gonna happen if that continues. Sunday, lacrosse wrapping it up. Rochester 15-7 win. Seals outshot them 65-48. They faced off them 24-2. This is a really bad week for Face-Offs Matter crowd. I'm just picking on them nonstop. I don't even care. 8-2 with 4:31 to go in the second. Seals got it to 9-6, and then Rochester would score 7 straight until San Diego would put one in the end, empty net. O'Rig gets chased. Dunkerley comes in and plays very well, but no Corey Small in this one for San Diego, but I don't think it really mattered. Rochester's offense, Zed Williams, no points, 4 shots, and they still put up 15. This offense is going to be ridiculous, and if Rylan Hartley can play to this level, I mean, even if he can play just a tier down, because he ain't making 58 of 65 saves again. Like, it's not happening. They're not giving up 65 shots again. But as Phil's beating up his microphone over there.
So upset.
Rylan Hartley, if he plays how he is and can stay healthy, I mean, this Rochester team should be in everybody's title contentions. It's kind of ridiculous how they played so well on Sunday.
Sorry, I had to find the card. There he is, Hartley.
There he is, Rylan Hartley. That's why the microphone is getting beaten up over there.
No, that was actually after I just accidentally punched it. Would you say San Diego got goalied in this?
No, San Diego got embarrassed. That's all that was. That wasn't even goalied. That was just like a peppering of shots later. Did you see his save?
Yes.
Rylan Hartley's. Yes. Oh my God. Like, that is like that. I think the announcer, Cooper Perkins, put it perfectly. That's what you're going to get with Rylan Hartley. You're going to get the insane plays where he goes way out of his net for no reason, just flips it up in the air, and then makes a diving save across the crease. I love watching. He's my favorite goalie to watch in the league for a reason.
100%. Like, I don't know how long he's been around, but if there was ever a vintage Hartley type play and save, that is it. Yeah, Rochester.
And then after that, he was behind the net and got stepped on. Like, if you ever want to see such entertaining goalies, just go watch a Rochester Nighthawks game when Hartley's in between the pipes. It's amazing. And he's such a good goalie, too. Like, all these, like, extra antics that he does in the game. Like, he's Christian Del Bianco on steroids. Like, Del Bianco comes out of the net all the time to make those elite passes in transition. But Hartley just does it for the fun of it. Like, it's insane. It's so much fun to watch.
Del Bianco does it very casually and like cool and confident. Hartley's just a wrecking ball out there, like sprinted full speed.
He's a golden retriever with a tennis ball in his mouth. That's what he is. It's awesome.
And like you said, there are plays where he has no reason to be out of his net. He's like, I got it.
Yeah. I'm standing right here. Now, I got it. Okay, that'll end this one. We'll go over, we'll come up with some idea for the Bandits next week when they're on bye. I know we got a second team that we're going to be picking. We got to come up with another idea. But 52 minutes in, we're cranking these out. We got 2 more segments to go. Bills versus Patriots, 35-31 victory, keeping their slim AFC East hopes alive. But to me, the main thing here is they're in the playoffs. Like, there's no way they're missing the playoffs with everything else going on. It was a fantastic second half by this one. They were 5 for 10 on third down on defense. Second half adjustments on defense. Besides that big Henderson run, they were fantastic. The team only allowed 2 sacks in this one, no turnovers, which I thought was another crucial one. I thought they lost versus Patriots earlier in the season because they committed so many turnovers. But besides Henderson, like, what else did Patriots do? Nothing. It was 2 big Henderson runs. Beyond that, nothing really. Allen was great in this one. Cook was great in this one. They got enough. This offense in the second half looked prime time. The first half offense was terrible. The first 3 drives, the first 2 were 2 and outs. The rest of them were punts. Like, then they got help in the standings as well. But I thought overall, this was a great come from behind victory when you're down 21-0 at one point, 24-3 at one point, I think it was. I thought this was a great come from behind victory to show New England, okay, we're still here. Like, you might take the East, but we're going to be a tough out of the playoffs. But they still got issues on defense. They still have issues in the running game. Like, I'm not bought back in. I told you what I needed from this defense. I didn't really see it, but they got enough to get the victory and move on and compete for at least another week of the AFC East.
Yeah, I mean, we can go over our checklist of things they need to do to win a game that we had. I think last week we kind of set it up. You have Josh Allen hero ball. You got that.
Got it.
No turnovers. All right,
got
that. Low penalties. I think they were 2 for 15. Got that. And James Cook goes off.
Offensive line was good. They put up over 30 points.
And your defense gets a few random stops. You got that. And so that is, again, it's weird and to me frustrating. But that's the MO right now with the Bills is Allen's going to have to ball out in the second half because the defense let him down the first
Fantasy,
half.
moving on. Thank you, Allen.
And it's just, this is how they're going to win is the defense gets a couple random stops because they're not an elite defense. They're decent at times, but they get a couple random stops. Allen plays hero ball and Cook has a good game. And that's how they can win these games. And luckily for them, like it's frustrating that they aren't an elite team this year because it's so wide open to take, but their style of winning this game can work in playoffs, but you have to replicate it. I mean, they scored 5 straight touchdowns to win this game. Like that's not easy in the playoffs to replicate, but that's what the Bills are going to need to do in order to win. I think I don't see them winning any kind of low scoring game because I think their defense cannot keep up with another elite defense, aka Houston is going to still be scary.
Yeah, I think I've been summing it up incorrectly, and I'll try to sum it up perfectly. Overall, can they win the Super Bowl? Yes. When you have Josh Allen, he can win the Super Bowl. Hands down. I've been saying no for a long time. I will say at this moment, and it's not because of the win, it's because I've been phrasing it incorrectly. Yes, they can win the Super Bowl. The issue is the margin of error is so razor thin. Yeah. Like that checklist is how they win. They can't commit turnovers. They can't commit penalties. The offensive line has to go good. Cook has to be running like a crazy man. Josh Allen has to be perfect. And the defense has to get a couple turnovers, like, because they're not getting stops. That's how they can win the Super Bowl. It's just if one of those few things doesn't work, they're probably not winning. That's why, to me, I've been saying that they can't win the Super Bowl. It's because the margin of error is so tiny. It's so tiny. But, I mean, the one benefit, Kansas City Chiefs boys, they're cut. They're done. They're out of the playoffs, and to add insult to injury, your quarterback's done until midway through next season because he tore his ACL. This is so wide open. Like Baltimore's 7-7 now. Indy is playing Phillip Rivers, who can't throw it more than a check down. Like they're sitting at 8-6 right now. Houston is your biggest threat right now, sitting at 9-5. Like you're unlikely to win the AFC East because you still need Indy or the Patriots to drop one divisional game to Miami or the Jets, which is very unlikely to happen. And Buffalo still has to win out in that case. But it's a wide open division as long as you avoid Houston. Like I think this is the best chance they've had since 13 seconds. And again, razor thin margins. But
this will be
anything else with this one?
This will be the time that they go to the Super Bowl and it'll just be a huge asterisk. Like, well, Kansas City didn't even make the playoffs.
Kansas City didn't leave Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, you didn't have to go through Burrow, didn't have to go through Lamar, and you didn't have to go through Mahomes, so it doesn't even count.
Yeah, even though they beat them all in the regular season.
Yeah.
That's about it. Bills face Cleveland, I believe it is, next week.
Yes,
and then it's Philly.
Yes,
do we even know what time they play them yet? I mean, we do, but I don't have it in front of me. Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
Oh, you got it.
Pulling it up. Scrolling it down. 1 o'clock game, Phil. Yes, another 1 o'clock game.
Favorite.
Thank you. Prime time window. We'll move on. Last segment here, and I guess this is a benefit and a disadvantage of recording a day late because we have the news so fresh, but we don't have a ton of time to talk about it, so it might transition also into the Friday show as well. Thursday they won. Sunday they won. They're back home. Whoop-de-doo.
They're talking about the Sabres?
Yeah, Sabres, sorry. 14-4 They're 6 games back, or 6 points back of the wild card, 6 back of Atlantic, and they need to jump 6 teams. Sign of the devil. Watch out, boys. The biggest news here, though, and kind of what we were expecting, just wasn't sure when it was going to happen. Phil's wearing his shirt for a reason. Kevin Adams, I will give Buffalo full credit for this one. I thought they would reassign him, but he's fired. He's gone. He's out of the organization. Jarmo Kekalainen is taking over. If that name sounds familiar, he used to be the general manager of Columbus. If you're listening to this for in-depth conversation, you're not going to get it. I don't care. Like, a change in leadership is kind of like clogging another toilet. It doesn't matter. Like, it's a bad analogy, but I don't care about these things.
It's not as good as your pizza analogy, I'll tell you that much.
It's not. The pizza analogy was elite. But they're not going to win. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
right.
The
it doesn't
the
change
players
the on-ice product.
Yeah, the on-ice product has to change, and changing a GM ain't going to do it. Like, I was having this disagreement with one of our buddies who was saying, like, okay, boost up Lindy Ruff to hockey ops. It's not going to matter because the players on the ice, Lindy Ruff was brought in, to me, when he was brought in, it was to put butts in seats. And sorry, I'm blurry, so let me fix myself. He was here to put butts in seats, and it didn't happen. And I think hockey has passed him by. And he was supposed to come in here to bring in accountability and leadership. It's the same product on the ice that they won these 3 games. Their next game is Thursday versus Philly. I guarantee it. They're going to lose 4-1, and the product on the ice are not going to skate hard. It's guaranteed. Like, they won 3 straight. That's what's going to happen. And until that product on the ice and people are held accountable, it's not going to change. Until the man leading everything and pulling the strings behind the scenes in Terry Pegula, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter who's the GM. It doesn't matter who's the hockey ops. It doesn't matter who's the coach. And it doesn't matter what's on the ice. It's a structural issue from top down, and that's not changing. So changing leadership is just putting a different monkey who's not responsible for leading a hockey team in charge. It doesn't matter to me. Like, cool, they finally did it after 5.5 years of incompetency. Like, what I want, and he's never going to do a press conference, and I know this is 2 weeks in a row of ranting on the Buffalo Sabres. Why? Why now? Like, what happened
after a 3-game
losing streak? Winning streak. That's when you fire Kevin Adams. Like, and I know this was probably planned for when they come back to town, whatever. But why now? Like, what have you seen in the last few weeks? What have you seen this season that you didn't see 5.5 years leading up to it? Like, that's what doesn't, like, I'm happy he's gone. He deserved to be fired years ago, whatever. But, like, I know there's smoke, and I know everybody's going to say, and this has been rumored for a while now. That's fine. But, like, it still doesn't change the fact, like, why now? Like, why wasn't this done 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Why was he hired in the first place? Like, that to me is why it's more frustrating. Like, I should be happy. I should be dancing in the streets. I should be throwing snow everywhere. I can't, because nothing's going to change, and it makes no sense. Like, you have an incompetent owner who doesn't know what the heck he's doing, leading an organization to the gallows. Like, it's stupid. I hate this team. I really do. Okay, that's all. I got nothing else.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't think it's going to do anything. The biggest thing, I think the new GM, who I also don't love, I understand they kind of brought him in to be the next guy and take over and all that stuff, but I still don't love that. I mean, we'll see if he sticks around, I guess. That they made no effort to look outside the organization. I know he hasn't been here that long, so he hasn't been a big part of how bad they've been for years, but it seems like something you should open up to as many possibilities as possible. But the biggest thing I think he can do right now is find a way out of this 3-goalie situation. If we can do that, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, Ellis is on the IR, so that does help. But you also notice Osling gets called back up. First goal of that game. It's Osling. What are you going to do? But yeah, I don't expect anything. Like, everybody's saying, Jarmo Kekalainen, like, plays for the home run instead of hitting a double. Like, if he makes more moves, that's fine. Like, I've said so many times, I just want entertaining games. I don't care if they win or lose, like, whatever. But the entertaining games have to be all 82. Like, it can't be every third one, which is, I'm fully expecting out there. Like, we're going to be recording when they're doing it, and I'm going to see the notifications popping up on my phone, like, they're down 1-0, down 2-0. Oh, it's 2-1. Now it's 3-1. Now it's 4-1. If I'm going to go on a betting site and place down all my money on Philly winning, because it's going to happen. Like, there's no way Buffalo's going to win 4 in a row and look this good, even after a GM is fired. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't care about this. Like, I know we got to talk about it because they fired him, but to me, nothing changes. Like, nothing's going to change in this organization.
Yeah, like, are the players going to skate harder because their GM's gone?
Yeah. It's going to be like, we're finally out from Kevin Adams. Like, whoopee. Thanks for the money, man. Thanks for signing me to this ridiculous contract. I don't know. I got nothing else. If you want more in-depth, more educational, and well-thought-out podcast talking about the Buffalo Sabres, listen to somebody else. I don't have it in me to care. I don't. It's too shows in a row where I ranted about this team. I don't care. Phil, anything else with this episode before we shut it down and head into our own little bye week here with no Buffalo Bandits?
I am sick of these bye weeks. We were all geared up to get this season going, and we've had to stop it twice now already. Ready to get the season actually moving. Like, it still feels like preseason in a way. Like, it just...
Yeah.
It's very strange. But no, that's all I got. We'll, I guess, enjoy our bye week again.
I'll finish with a nice analogy. It won't be like the pizza one, but it feels like we're driving a sports car and shift through the mountains. Like, we're ready to cruise, and then we got to downshift because there's a hill. That's our bye weeks. But, yeah, on the Friday show, we'll come up with some fun draft or some idea talk about with the Buffalo Bandits. Last bye, we kind of talked about when they're fully healthy, and then the first team. On Sunday, we'll draft our second all Bandits team, but we'll come up with an idea on Friday. We'll go over any Bills hopes or any news over there. It's going to be a really boring show on Friday. I'm really plugging it really nicely for everybody to listen. But if you want to listen, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, there's not even any Sabres games. So maybe we'll break down the firing is more and maybe come up with some ideas of what we want changed in the organization since we have some time. But that wraps up this episode. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Buffalo Sports Collective. Thank you to Tap That Tap Room for sponsoring this episode and this podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Buffalo Sports Collective, and on X and Blue Sky at Buffalo Sports Co. Visit our website at buffalosportscollective.com. Phil's article is out now. Go give it a read, breaking down Halifax versus Buffalo. Follow our channel wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, when hopefully I have a bathroom. Bye-bye!